Oh.
I said, what do a woman need to do to keep her man?
Right, and I said I'll tell you top 3. Then you got to tune in for the rest. You know what I mean? Women don't know how to shut the fuck. You know what I'm saying? When I say shut the fuck, I really get verbatim exactly how I'm saying it. Shut the fuck. And I'm saying we because me personally, I like to date a certain type of caliber of man. You know what I'm saying? And when you dating that type of caliber of man, he don't want to hear all of that. Especially when he paying the bills and he taking care of you and he keeping you up to how you want. And what I'm saying,
first, I want to start off by saying she is right. In a lot of cases, women just need to learn to be quiet. Now, the reason why women keep talking is because it's an emotional thing. They're trying to claim dominance. They're not necessarily trying to be compatible. They're just trying to be the loudest and the more stern to prove who's the most alpha. That's why when you come across women that really like to talk too much and like to prove everything, the best thing to do is to go silent and let her reveal her weaknesses to herself. When a woman is able to see her weaknesses within herself and she see how it keeps making her vulnerable, that's the only way that she's going to humble herself to allow a man to be the leader.
I'm not talking. Let me finish. And I'm not talking about because you're an invalid because you can't pay your own bills. Because I come maintenance already. He didn't get me like this. He didn't put me in position. I was already bossed up. You know what I'm saying? What I'm talking about, he's doing his duties as a man. Meaning, I don't gotta ask him to do the things that he's supposed to do. I don't gotta tell him I need. He's already doing it. Just being a man. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking a trick. I'm not talking about no goofy shit. I'm talking about a nigga saying, I like you. I'm pursuing you. And because I got it, I want to make sure you good too. Because what kind of man would I be to be around you to see you struggle? Not that you're struggling, but I can help you get it.
When a man starts to come across success, the first thing that a man starts to do is think about his legacy. No matter what man it is, when you start to go on your purpose and you start to chase your dreams and that money starts coming in, the first thing that you start to think about is a family and building up. A lot of women don't understand that. She's right. Whenever you're a man and you're on your purpose and you're making a substantial amount of money, you don't want to see the woman that you like suffer. You don't want to see her hurt. So if you're able to reach out a hand and help pull her up, that's what you really want to do. It's just that so many women, they don't want that hand because they have too much pride and ego. So they'll rather talk tough while they're weak inside and miss out on a guy who could possibly give them the life that they really want.
So when you dating that type of man, you gotta know when to be quiet. Sometimes you gotta pick and choose your battles. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes I wanna be that independent. I know. No, I talk to a broke nigga like that. You don't talk to a nigga that can change your life tomorrow like that. Fuck that.
That is true. I agree with that.
Because if you knew everything, you wouldn't be in my face.
So what's the second thing?
Second thing is,
all right, I want a lot of guys out there to pay attention to that little part that she says. She's compatible with a broke dude that's not doing anything. All right, a lot of you guys need to understand, women for the most part are going to go off of a visual. So you could be the smartest and have the most money, but if you drive in a car that looks like she can afford or she's doing better, she's going to talk down to you. It's just a natural reaction for guys to do that. So if you are on your purpose and you want to gain respect, especially with the women, typically you're going to have to do it materialistically. But when she gets closer to you, you have to turn all that materialistic stuff off and show her the real alpha side.
Be open. Be open to change.
Explain.
Just be open. I never had calamari before. Don't say, I don't like that. I don't eat that. Try it. Try it more than once. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just talking about the calamari. Try it. I've never been here. Go to another state. Go to another country. Try on a different designer. Whatever it is he's introducing you to, don't be so quick to say, no, I don't do that. That's not my thing. Because the stereotype, we quick to be like, men love Spanish women. And they love because they're submissive. Right? The Spanish woman got attitude. She's checking her man too. She's putting him in his place too, but it's the way you do it. You can't, as black women, and I'm taking responsibility, we tend to belittle our men. You understand what I'm saying? And say, oh, nah, you done fucked up, and because he did one thing wrong or he can't meet the standards of today for you, you know what I'm saying? You're like, well, you ain't shit, and you did it, but you forgot what he did a month ago, and a week ago, and 2 weeks ago. We forget to be appreciative.
Don't worry about a Spanish woman like that too.
And she's absolutely right. Most women nowadays are very appreciative to anything that a man does. It's because most of them do not have relationship skills. That's why getting married in this generation is just kind of like not even void. That's something that you should not do because women have not been taught relationship skills at all. For you to get around to actually finding a woman to be with, most of this relationship stuff is pretty much wasteful because the generation before them were the ones that were manipulated. And a lot of these women have taught that feminism down into their children.
Name one thing we underestimate about men. I'll go first.
Feelings. You can see it all the time online. There's always some woman online talking about a man needs to make sure her feelings are reassured, how she needs to feel secured, how she needs to feel validated. Me. That's all you. You never hear about a woman talking about how a man should feel reassured and validated and secured as well. Because, he's human.
She's absolutely right about that. Women are never trying to make sure that you're okay, trying to make sure that you're positive, trying to make sure that you're confident. It's because she's always trying to overpower you. Now, when I say women, I would not be talking about all women. I would just be talking about a lot of women that guys knows. The good woman out there that's actually going to be considerate of you is going to be slim to none. And the reason for that is because women have a right to victimize themselves. And that's exactly what this woman's saying. We underestimate a man's emotion. So now when men start to complain, it starts to look bad. It makes a man look weaker because women are kind of like, hey, what are you complaining about? Because it's all about us. And men are kind of like, well, you keep acting like we're not human when we really are.
With human emotions, a lot of y'all are fucking selfish. You don't let that man know it's okay for him to come talk to you. It's okay for him to come vent. It's okay for him to come cry. It's okay. No, because the man is afraid to come and talk to you because he's afraid that you're going to weaponize his feelings and use it against him later.
And she's right. She is absolutely right. Nowadays, you have to be careful whenever you're talking to a woman because, yes, she can weaponize everything that you do. Like, for instance, a woman will put on provocative clothes. So guys say, oh my God, look at her. She's looking pretty. Just so she can feel sexy, so she can feel worthless. The moment women walk down the street and guys are not giving them attention is the moment they feel depressed. This is what guys are not understanding with women. You put yourself in position to actually take advantage of a man's desires because you know how a man is. I always tell you, Muslim women cover it up to take away the desires of a man. But a lot of Western women, you have to take off your clothes in order to get the attention so you feel good. But the problem here is that if you attract the guy that you don't like, if you attract the guys that you don't like, then it's going to be harassment. That's how a woman is. It's like, oh my God, I'm not interested in this guy. And he's looking at me like I'm the sexiest thing in the world. He keeps talking to me. That's harassment. But if she was able to lure in the guy that she actually wants, then he can say the same thing that the unattractive guy says. And it's not going to be harassment. That's where we're at in today's world. The Me Too movement actually makes no sense because majority of women that are using it are not victims. They're just women who are mad that they didn't get the results that they wanted. Let's get back to it.
Man has to sit in the car for 15 minutes because sitting in that lonely car is more safer than going home to his wife or girlfriend. But happy wife, happy life, right? Because as long as the woman is happy, their relationship is doing just fine.
And in most cases, the happy wife, happy life syndrome don't work. The theory doesn't work. What happens is most women in the Western world that we live in right now, they marry the guy that gives them the best contract. In other words, the guy that's willing to give up more money and do more things in her favor is going to be the guy that actually gets the wife, which is why they say happy wife, happy life. It's because you spend your entire relationship buying and doing things that she want to do because she did not naturally want you. That's just how it works. Happy wife, happy life comes to the guy that's actually paying for his wife. Because if you stop and actually look at relationships and actually look at a woman who's in love with a man, 9 times out of 10, that's not the richest guy in the world. That's not the guy who's actually going out of his way to make sure she's happy. Most of these women are very loyal to men who's not actually showing that they love them like that. That's kind of like treating them like a regular person. That's why I see in real life. Most of these guys that have dedicated wives or dedicated girlfriends that's really in love with them, they're not the richest guy in the world. They're not the best looking guy in the world. But what do they have? They have an attitude. They put something that they love to do above that woman. And that woman likes him for being his own individual. The happy wife, happy life myth is going to do nothing but drive you insane, because no matter how much money you spend, no matter how nice you act, a woman will never be satisfied. Not all, but majority. When I say majority, 99%.
No matter how that man is feeling. And that, my friend,
we live in a world where I could say things probably used to be biased back in the day. You know, men had a lot of power. Men ruled. And the reason for that is because men actually built the world up, built up communities, built up cities, built up towns. Men did that. Women were always vulnerable and soft. Women are still vulnerable and soft. They're just stronger psychologically until they come to a breaking point. Trust me, every woman that you see out here pretending to be a man, working hard as a man, she reaches a breaking point to where she's going to humble herself. Some of the smartest and hardworking women at some point lose their mind and nobody wants to be around them, and they just turn into a cat lady. The moral of the story here is, men, is that women are never going to look at your feelings unless you are emotionless. When you are emotionless, women are always trying to find a way to get a different mood out of you. And to them, that's actually love. It's when they're trying to get a man to fall in love. But the moment you're a man that she doesn't figure out and she actually figures you out is when men actually have their problems. So the moral of the story here is, guys, stay on your grind. Stay on your purpose. Remember, she's only going to respect you and care about you once you show signs that you care about yourself. But you must care about yourself before you care about her. And you must care more about yourself than you ever will with her. This is Anthony Spade. Like this video, all right? And subscribe to both of my channels. Hasta la vista.
I'm starting Bay's nightly routine. He only likes 2.5 pieces of ice in his water, so here I am cutting one of the pieces of ice so that it's the perfect temp to him. I have to make sure it's perfect and to his liking. Next, I have to go in the other room and call his gamer friends to make sure that they're ready to game when he is.
Hello?
Hey Alex, it's Amelia. Chad's gonna be ready soon.
Alright, for sure, bet.
Taking my slippers off before entering the bathroom was very important for him. I then turn on the shower and make sure it's at the perfect temperature for him. Not too hot, not too cold, but right in the middle. To keep his pearly whites, I wet the toothbrush and put 2 little droplets exactly where he wants them on his toothbrush and set it down. Lastly, I get Saint, his puppy, ready to be his emotional support during gaming. He made it really easy this time.
Nice little cute video. Moral of the story here: woman's nature is woman's nature. When women giving you signs that they don't care, you don't have to question it. Just like this woman sat up and said, I'm going to be the best woman. That guy is not questioning if his woman's going to be loyal to him, because when a woman likes you, you don't have to question it. It's when they don't like you, you have to know everything. This is Anthony Spade. Hopefully you guys are able to get the message behind the video. Comment, like, subscribe to both of my channels. Hasta la vista.